Brooks, obviously a tough way to end that game. What did you see on the two-point conversion?
They put everybody out of the backfield, went to no backs, and got the linebackers out of the core and run the quarterback run. We've seen it a few times in the game. Just we got to execute when we need it.
Brooks, you talked about it in terms of execution. Donovan Smith, probably a big part of their running attack. When you know that the ball is going to him, but he's such a big body, what gave you guys issues in terms of actually stopping his ability to run the ball?
Yeah, anytime in the quarterback run games, it's a threat. The only thing that we have to do is make sure of is that our run fits are tight, and I think we did that for the most part, but when we didn't, they gashed us.
Can you just talk about what the feeling is like in the locker room currently?
Yeah, it feels terrible. Yeah, I mean it's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Brooks, just on the way that you guys lost that game in that kind of gut-wrenching fashion, what's the next step? How do you guys take that pain and not allow it to affect the way that you guys come out next game?
We just got to think, we have 3 games left, and all these 3 games are going to be up to us, and we still got practice Monday through Thursday, and, we got to come out there with, the intent and the energy because if we lose the energy, then no point in being there. So we just need to come out there and, do our thing. Don't change anything. Just we need to get better at executing, doing that during the week, and bring it over into Saturdays.
Answered one of my questions by saying you don't change anything. So, I mean, you feel like nothing needs to change at this point. It's just a matter of execution, guys doing their job, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we need to do our job, and if we do our job, we'll beat everybody.
Anything else, Brooks?
Josh, when Dawson scored and y'all went up for the first time in the game, I mean, did you sense that it was there for the taking?
Yeah. As a collective, you could feel on the sidelines, you could feel really the whole stadium, you could feel everyone being like, yeah, this is all the momentum was basically on our side. I would say we just got to kind of run with that in those moments and just kind of take off when that happens.
Josh, I know it's kind of a broken record at this point, but another slow start offensively. We talked about it midweek in terms of what you guys are trying to do to change that. What doesn't seem to be carrying over from practice in terms of energy to the game?
Kind of like I was saying earlier, I think just kind of like that big spark play, an offense that we kind of need to just get going, and really just killing our drives kind of in the beginning. That's kind of been another trend. We were moving it pretty well in the beginning, but then we just had a couple penalties, and that kind of just kills the momentum. So kind of just eliminating that is a big thing that I've noticed kind of the past couple weeks.
Josh, positively kind of towards the end of that game, it seemed like the offensive line was really moving the line of scrimmage there. What can you say about how they played and how the offense really rallied in that second half?
Oh yeah, they were just they played a huge part in our success. Really, it all starts with them. So whenever they just get that spark, it starts clicking with them. Then it just starts clicking with Blake, and really just running backs, wide receivers, just starts clicking with everyone whenever that happens.
Josh, were you surprised when they overturned the catch, or did you feel like you had control of it before you rolled out of bounds?
I feel like I had control of it for sure, but at the end of the day, that was their call. So if he said I dropped it, then I guess I dropped it. So just kind of moving on from that, yeah.
And to just kind of build on that, I mean, it was that play, it got overturned. It almost looked like y'all had recovered a fumble to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
It gets overturned. Does this game kind of show just the roller coaster nature of football sometimes? Or
Yeah, I'd say that's exactly what football is. It's ups and downs, momentum swings, and that we saw that today with the catch and just different situations that we saw. So yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster of a game without a doubt.
I guess as the losses kind of pile up, what is the resolve of this team? Is there a breaking point for y'all in this season?
I wouldn't say so. I've just really just being in the locker room, just seeing everyone. Like I don't see nobody saying we're gonna like I'm done or I'm quitting. Like everyone's still like involved and everyone still want to go and make a bowl game and do all that stuff. So I don't see no quitting. I don't see none of that, honestly.
Josh, you mentioned him earlier, but in terms of Blake, made some big plays in that second half, especially that big 4th and 18 run play. What kind of leader has he become in these moments where you guys are down as an offense or maybe need a little bit of a spark?
He's just been stepping up into that kind of leadership role, and it really starts with him. Like whenever we feel his energy, and then the whole offense kind of wants to like rally around him and just get going, and give their best. So whenever he does, like you said, those plays like that, and just kind of taking over the game, like it's a huge impact on everyone on the offense side.
It's good to see you guys. It's a sad and frustrated and really kind of broken locker room, and so it's all of that's just very tough. I told them I'm very appreciative and honored by their fight. I thought that there was never any quit, and I thought that the team played hard for each other and together, and so I'm proud of that. I'm disappointed in just the lack of execution, especially early in the game. There's opportunities. I don't know how many times the ball was, inside the 5, and at the end of the drive, it's, outside the 20. And I haven't been in games before when there really should have been 7, and if there's 0 or even if there's 3, where that doesn't come back and get you. And unfortunately, that was us, today. I thought that, our ability to play a complete game is almost a version, or it's almost the halves kind of split us. I feel like defensively really kind of starting fast and being able to get people off the field with some 3 and outs, and then stopping the run. And then I think as the game went on, their offensive structure was more empty and everything else, and they were able to get some runs defensively, and we had to adjust. And I thought there was fight there, but I thought we waned in the final moments, and I thought offensively we got better towards the end of the game, and we really needed some production in the beginning. And so our ability to kind of play all systems firing and all cylinders turning and the whole thing, it's disappointing to not have that with the emphasis and the focus on it. There's still a lot of football left. I know that there's been improvement, and it's hard to speak like this because it's, I know it's so depressing, and I'm depressed too, and all this, and so I feel that, but there's been improvement, and it's to keep the focus on it and to keep working on the things that we can control, and to be able to get, the film to the practice field, right, to the game. And I thought there was times we were able to do that today from things that we were struggling with in the past. And so we're going to keep chopping away at that, and we're going to keep the team together to do that. Take any questions you guys got.
Dave, obviously, 6 out of the 7 games here at home have ended with the same result. You touched on the execution, but are there changes that need to be made from like schematic or personnel, standpoint?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think early in the season, with the amount of new people and youth on the team, I think some of it, I think a lot of the games were at home in the beginning, and I think a lot of it was anxiousness, nervousness, bright lights, big city, there would be times where we would practice and we would be one thing in the practice environment and come out here and be another thing. And that would generally there would be slow starts with that. I don't think that has not been us here in these last couple games. I feel like the youth of all of it has kind of been through it and has seen the other side of it. I think now, if anything, what we're fighting is just the accumulation of the losses and just the noise and just all of that. But I thought that there was a lot of fight today and a lot of good things. The finish, for sure, was not there, and that's just disappointing when we emphasize it as much as we do.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Obviously the window is closing, but there's still a path to a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Just over the course of the season, Baylor has been a road team, won more on the road than at home. Do you still see that as a possibility for the team?
I appreciate the question. We want to win every game that we're in, and we really make the attention and the intentionality of everything we're doing focused on that. And so, they put a game in front of us. We want to prepare to win. And so it was brought up in our meeting just now that we still have an opportunity to do this. And so let's stay together and do it.
Coach, you alluded to that noise in one of your answers. And obviously, in this social media age, with a lot of the opinions that I'm sure are out there about what maybe needs to change, whether it's decisions, coaching staff, things like that, how do you deal with all of that?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's. I appreciate that. I think that anytime you have a conversation, you have to reveal yourself, and I just think that anytime that there's things that are kind of coming back that are not, I'm not doing well, we're not doing well. I try not to get caught up in the emotion of it. I try to hear the facts of it, right, or just the meat of it, and potatoes of it, and what can we do to get better, right? And so I appreciate that part of it, and I think we tried to use all of that for good, and improvement and that type of thing. And so I wish I could say that we've turned the corner on it, but apparently not.
Dave, a lot of big-time plays from Blake down the stretch there, especially that 4th and 18. Kind of what did you see from him in those late stages, almost rallying the troops to kind of get the Bears back in it?
Appreciate that. Yeah, continues to fight. He's in the training room quite a bit, doing his best to stay healthy. He's upstairs in Simpson there, getting receivers and running backs and O-linemen to come watch film with him. And so, just the effort that he gives and his care factor is way setting the pace. And so when it's like that, and he's out taking the hits that he's taken, sliding or not sliding and doing those things, I think it's just, it's an expression of who he is. And so I'm impressed by that.
Dave, you're 9 games into the season. You've mentioned the lack of execution, carrying practice into a game. Is there a chance that as a staff you're misjudging what you're seeing during the week?
Appreciate that. Yeah, we've really tried to be really scientific just in our approach with practice. And so, in our team meetings, we'll make a big point of here's the plays that we're executing on, here's the plays we're not, here's the yards after catch, here's the yards after run, after contact, here's the missed tackles, and everything's way broken down and way, fine-tooth comb type of thing. And I think to do all of that and to not, what's hard is when you're losing and you're doing that can be looked at as pointing the finger, that could be looked at as assigning blame. that could be looked at as any of those things. But to do it in a way where it's like we're trying to coach and bring people up, and we're all in this together, and all of it, I think has been a way positive part of what we're doing. I very much, I can understand the question, because we've got to be able to turn the corner with this. I think the execution, when it matters most, is where we're at. You know, whether it's the last drive, right? Whether it's early in the game and it's to goal down, whatever it is. I think those are areas right now that are holding us back, and we have to push through those.
You mentioned throughout the season that this team is together and close. Is that harder to maintain as the losses pile up, and is there a breaking point for the team?
Appreciate that. It is hard. I think it's hard. It's very hard. There was we had a recruiting event here prior to the start of the game, and we had some of our learning specialists were in the recruiting suite with us, and I hadn't seen them in a little bit. Generally, I would try to make the rounds and have kind of been in bunker mode and all that, and so I haven't. And Lucian was kind of catching up, and she was just talking about how hard she works just to bring people back up. We break and then we put them back together again. And so I just think that's what's special about being here, is that for sure I'm doing that and the coaches are, but everybody's doing that. And everybody cares, and everyone's really trying to put people back together. And, we've been able to do that to start a Tuesday morning, but it does get harder every week. Yep.
On the 2-point conversion, what did you see from the defense there?
Yeah, we lost leverage in our gaps. I think what they had shown throughout the game was shifting to empty looks and then running the quarterback in those empty looks. And so there's some anticipation that could very well be the case with this particular call. And I just thought that as opposed to kind of fighting a hard shoulder and squeezing and flattening a guy out and getting big in a gap, we were penetrating, got skinny, and then he found a seam. And so that's unfortunate for us. We're going to have to learn from that. All right, thank you, guys.